Holy shit! Black Bullet is amazing. Victor, what did we think we were going to get with this show?
Some boring nonsense that was all exposition.
Why did we think that was gonna happen?
Because we were told so by a deceiver.
Don-san, our friend, longtime fellow anime compatriot, who refuses to be on this show because he doesn't like to have his face in public. What did he tell us about episode 1?
He told us that episode 1 was nothing but exposition and it was boring.
He said something like, it starts off okay and then it's like exposition for the whole episode, and then episode 2 is better and that it was okay and that I should check it out. We watch episode 1, we go in expecting, oh, it's gonna be nothing but exposition, and it's like brick shitting insanity for like 10 straight minutes. First of all, I'm gonna let like right off the bat we get introduced to the main villain of at least of this arc. Victor, tell us about this villain, because
he is fantastic, and he is literally almost exactly this character that I just wrote in my screenplay to the T, down to his posture and his mannerisms. He is this fucking character, the techniques he uses, and I had no idea this guy existed, and now I feel like shit.
Yeah, Victor wrote a screenplay. And the main villain is a guy called Sir Kills-A-Lot, who wears
his name isn't Sir Kills-A-Lot.
It's not. Well, in the movie it's not, but his name is Sir Kills-A-Lot.
Based on a character named Sir Kills-A-Lot.
Either way, he wears the mask, he has the same mannerisms, like pretty much the same powers, the same ability to teleport between locations all the time. But the difference is this villain has this amazing daughter who's a fucking badass and looks like a Toho character. She looks like if you crossed Flander and Romelia Scarlet into one person, you'd get this girl.
Mm-hmm. She looked cool. It was cool.
She looks
had two
awesome.
swords. Two, like, fucking machete katanas, and she was like, I'm crazy.
The two main characters is a guy who's a badass. That's about all we really know about him. He's young and he's a badass.
And he has interesting highlights.
Yeah, he has cool highlights in his hair and a nice suit, an incredibly tailored suit.
He does have an amazing suit.
And he has this little girl who fights with him. This show is, if you took Zatch Bell and Gunslinger Girl and fused them with like a clusterfuck, just a general clusterfuck, you get this show. It has the Gunslinger Girl concept of it's all like older men paired with little girls who are like basically programmed to fight for them and are like in love with them as well, not for the same kind of sensible reasons as Gunslinger Girl, where it's like literally they are medicated though, so maybe that has to do with it. It's a lot like Gunslinger Girl in that regard, but it's also like Zatch Bell in a way where it's like they're kind of treated like Momotos, and they're not really human per se, and they are poorly integrated with society, and society treats them like shit. This show is over the top grimdark, but it's like it's so not serious that you can't even I don't know how to like. It doesn't feel like massive tone shifts between oh haha funny and oh my god grisly. It's more like the dark parts are so crazy that you're only as shocked as you are laughing. There's a scene in episode 2. This is the moment where like I understood where I was going and I was just like, all right, I get it. This is gonna be intense. Because the beginning of episode 2 like introduces us pretty much to the concept that there's a bunch of these guys with the little girl partners, and the main bad dude just like shows up with his daughter, which is his partner. They just like murder a shitload of people and put a guy's fucking head in a box on the desk.
Yeah.
And then so like at that point it's like, all right, shit's real right now. But then the moment of truth is later in the episode. There's this little girl who's like one of the infected. They're like basically they're infected with the same virus that creates the giant monsters that they're fighting. Did I mention giant monsters? If our explanation is a clusterfuck, it's only because the show is
a dinosaur thing. It was like a Tyrannosaurus Rex with a hammerhead shark's head, and then I think it had wings. It was a shark dinosaur chimera. The
first thing that attacked, like the very beginning of the show, is the main character is a little kid, and he gets attacked by what we described as Turkey Mothra.
Turkey Mothra. Now that I know that they are chimeras, Turkey Mothra is a very accurate description of this monster. Turkey Mothra.
But anyway, what I was trying to get to is that episode. The little girls are like basically people get infected with a virus that turns them into giant monsters gradually.
CG Turkey Mothras.
And then the other monsters weren't even CG.
I know they weren't. It was just Turkey Mothra
in episode 1. And maybe they did that, and then they went, "We don't want to do CG anymore."
They were like, this looks like stupid bullshit, so let's not do this.
But basically people get infected and it turns them into monsters. And then there's these little girls where basically if someone is infected, like if a woman is infected while she's pregnant, then the kid she gives birth to will have like these special abilities. And these kids are like immediately ostracized and put on like a fucking island out away from the city.
They stand and look at the city all
Yes,
day.
they literally just stand on the island and stare at Tokyo wishing they could live there. Some of them live in the sewers.
Eyes.
Some of them run around Tokyo and steal and shit. So in episode 2, there's this little girl and she like just stole something from some dudes, and they like apprehend her and they're all like, you know, wrestling her, and they get these police officers and the cops show up. And first of all, it's like an obvious commentary on racism because the cops are like, she's like, "You don't even know what I did," and they're like, "We know what your kind would have done." And they're like dragging her away, and the main character's little girl assistant, it's like, you know, she gets all emotionally hurt because she can't help, and so the main character guy's like, "All right, I gotta go save that little girl." So he chases down the police car, and they literally the police drive to an abandoned factory, take this girl out of the car, and fucking shoot her in the face like 3 times. Yeah. And the main character shows up only after they've just done this. And she survives, mind you, because otherwise it would have been too dark to even handle. Like, she's not even
fucking
important.
executed.
She just survived just so that we wouldn't have to be like... Because this was me. I'm just like... Like, that's all I could... I was fucking dumbfounded. I was
also like how
this is the darkest shit.
It was the least adorable little girl in the entire show. She was like the most raggy looking one.
She was super adorable. What are you talking about? She was super adorable. All the lollies in the show are adorable.
the other lollies were particularly adorable.
They were clean adorable. She was... The whole fact that she was like a... Like she was adorable. Anyway, the show's full of adorable lollies. Unfortunately, none of them have any real personality so far.
They're little girls. The main little girl seems kind of believably a little girl.
The main little girl in the first episode, her whole characterization is her pretty much looking at the camera and going, "I'm an adorable lolly. Love me. Love me." Like, that was like all of her dialogue gave me that impression. But yeah, she's fun, and she gets better, like, when she goes through that in episode 2, you know, and she starts having, like, all this fucked up shit happen to her because of the villain, and it's just, this show's so entertaining. Just so much shit happens. You're watching, and just people are dying, and fucking shit's getting wrecked, and there's giant monsters, and fucking psychic fights, and the bad guy is badass, and his daughter's badass, and then the icing on the cake is that there's a scientist character, this woman, who the main guy goes to for information, and she is perfect. She is my waifu. I am in love with her. Like, she is the most perfect... First of all, perfect hair.
The hair is definitely amazing.
Perfect hair, perfect eyes, perfect lips, perfect body, perfect outfit. Because she's wearing, like, a cool She looks like the woman who fills a similar role in Kara no Kyokai. I wouldn't be surprised if she's based on her, which is a cooler character in general. But this woman looks kind of like her, or like the red-haired girl.
If she smokes a cigarette, you're gonna die.
The red-haired girl from Persona 4 might be a good comparison. Or Persona 3 and 4 looks kind of like her, but then she's wearing a lab coat, and she works in a morgue. And she has a super sexy voice, and she talks about how, like, corpses are her boyfriend, and she makes this weird fucking concoctions and eats them. And, like, she's only had, like, maybe 7 to 10 minutes of screen time in 3 episodes, and it was enough for me to just be like, I'm in love. She's perfect. I'm done. She is my waifu of the season. So far this season, I haven't had any reactions like that until now, and I was just like, oh my god, my heart goes doki doki. It's too much. Anyway, anything else you wanted to say about Black Bullet?
That's what I have to say about Black Bullet.
I hope
see you next time.
that our level of energy and how loud we are can communicate the energy the show gave to us. I mean, considering that we got up and went across the house and started recording, and we still have this much energy right now, I think is a testament.
I'm just wondering, I hope that while Dansan severely underhyped the show for us, now we are going to severely overhype the show for anyone else. And so we're going to be the only ones enjoying
spoiled
this
all
shit.
the good shit, so like if hopefully people had already seen this before watching the video.
Without the shock of finding out what the fuck it's about. Being like, what the hell
I
is
don't know.
this?
I feel like I could rewatch those 3 episodes and be just as entertained.
You can't be not surprised by a T-Rex with the fucking hammerhead shark head.
It was just... Yeah, the fact that we were so like, we literally thought this was just gonna be a boring pile of shit. Like, and then it was amazing, so... I think I'm the most hyped for this show out of anything so far that I've seen this season. Just for the level of entertainment value. Like, this will not be a like a 10 out of 10 or even 9 out of 10 show for me, but the level of hype I feel watching it is intense. And the villain is so perfect. Every minute he's on screen is the best part. So anyway, that's it. We're repeating ourselves now, so see you next time.